maybe. There we go. It is loading. Okay, good. All right. Hey, guys. Let me turn up the volume here. There we go. There we go. Because I got to try and see the comments on my laptop. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I got a phone call. Actually, so these are super appropriate ears for today. So I have this really long, boring meeting with work, which, gotta love those long, boring meetings. An hour and a half. I don't know why our commander thinks an hour and a half commander's call is wise. I've never had one so long, but whatever. Well, not never, but it's rare that the commander will go like an hour and a half, but he does every time. Oh, anyway. So he just goes really long. Hi, Marcia. So yeah, my commander just loves to have these long meetings. They're informative, but it's an hour and a half meeting is really long. So anyway, so I was super excited to wear these ears today because my cousin, just as I finished that meeting, my cousin called me. I come from a big Mexican family, and I know you can't tell because I'm as white as can be, but my cousin Mark called me, and he's bringing his daughters and daughter and grandkids, and we're going to go to the Alamo. And so it's kind of funny. So it's kind of appropriate that my little Mexican ears were handy today because I'll feel very Mexican right now since I talked to them. We always joke about how I'm only a quarter Mexican. I mean, I'm only a nickel Mexican because, so anyway. But anyway, so I'm so excited to show you what we're going to do today. I decided to, okay, yeah, there it is. I'm going to feature this paper again. Now, the new paper pumpkin for this next month is going to feature butterflies. But I am in love with this paper. I can't get enough of it. I've had, I've shown it to you a couple times. I've done a few projects with it. I'm doing another project, but it's with an older stamp set. My friend Candy always says that I'm really, really good at making masculine cards. I don't know if they're really masculine, but I just love making certain types of cards that are just, I don't know. I just like making a certain type that just have this look to them. Sorry, I got to grab a new piece of paper to lay down. I forgot to change up my grid paper, and it has some notes on it and stuff. I don't want with people's like information, so I don't want that showing. So yeah, so I went ahead and I'm going to do a similar technique that we did last week, but it's going to be with a different design. Where'd the wolf go? I guess I dropped it. It's probably on the ground somewhere. So, okay. Oh, well, that's a bummer because I had it handy. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. As soon as I do something different, something shiny gets my attention, I'll get distracted. So I'm going to do a similar technique that we did last week, but I'm going to be using a different stamp set because I just think that it has such a cool potential to use it. So let me grab my markers. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the stamp. All right, there we go. My stamp set today is going to be the Sailing Home stamp set. So you remember last Friday, I showed you this one with the wolf and stamping directly on the designer series paper. Well, today I'm going to do both. And then I had this mistake because I have a scrap piece of paper in my container where I messed up using the Horizons paper. I mean, these Horizons, look at them. Some of them are really defined and really clearly defined as a horizon, but some of them are just very vague. You can use them for a lot of different things. And I just like some of these really vague ones where it's a horizon, but it could be a variety of things. So I like that Stampin' Up! Gives us these options. So we're going to be using the Stampin' Up! The Sailing Home stamp set, which is one of my favorites, and it'll probably retire. It's been around for about, oh gosh, I want to say this has been in the catalog for 3 years. And I have a feeling it's going to retire because 3 years is kind of a long time. But man, it's such a good set. So I'm going to showcase it because I think it's worth every single penny. I've used it for ages. I usually use it with my students. So because they're from the Navy, a lot of them from the Navy. So I always want to give them congratulation cards that are for the Navy. And, just with some symbols, So we're going to go ahead and stamp some sailboats. I'm going to stamp a couple because I'm not quite sure which one I want to use. And I'm going to cut them out with the dies. And then some I'm just going to stamp directly on the paper because I want to have a little, is this big enough? Yeah. All right, so let me get my Night of Navy. Okay. Get my Night of Navy. I love this wolf that we did last week. Let me move it. All right. I love Night of Navy. Oops. I might need to ink this one, but I don't think so. I might need to ink it up. Oh, and I got new blocks. Because I had an order that was over $600, I earned these new ergonomic blocks. Loving. So we're going to stamp a couple sailboats because I'm not quite sure if I want to use both. I actually kind of want to use also the, and then we're going to cut them out. And then for the sentiment, I have set sail in the direction of your dreams, but I'm not quite sure what to cut it out. I'm going to stamp it here. Actually, you know what? I should use Blackberry Bliss for this one. And that way there's a little different contrast. So let me clean that off and use, I organized my stamps. Like all my ink is on the table now and a little, oh, goodness. All my ink is on the table now. So I'm not always reaching around to get my ink. I've got the little storage containers and I've got a little, the storage containers from Stampin' Up. I'll have to take a picture and share it on my Facebook or a little video tour of my little table. It's not glamorous. It's just normal. But, all right, so I've got a couple. Oh, I'm going to need this blue in a minute. But, all right. So, and then we've got Blackberry Bliss. But I think I'm going to do Blackberry Bliss for the sentiment because of the... oh, that's really blotchy. I stamped it a little too much ink. There we go. Oh, it was also wet, I think was the problem too. I'm not sure which cutter we'll use for it. So that's why I'm stamping, kind of wasting a little bit of paper here. Because I'm opening up, for the longest time, I didn't buy the dies that match this stamp set. Because I just thought, I don't need the dies. I'm just going to cut them out. Because I'm used to fussy cutting things out. And, you know, I was on a budget. And so I was like, no, I don't need to get the dies. But I learned that actually the dies could do some really cool things. So we're going to set all this aside, set my ink aside just for a minute, and we'll get the dies out, which I haven't showed you guys yet, because this is the first time I've used these dies. I've used them at other people's houses that had them, but I've never bought them myself. Because, you know, dies can be pricey, but I'm pretty sure this is one of the sets that as actually, me too, Carol. I absolutely love this stamp set with the Sailing Home. I didn't know how much, I've used it for all kinds of things, for women, for men. I use it a lot for my students, like I was telling Marcia, because I have students from the Navy, but there's even like very oceanic little seaweed in here that I had forgotten about. And the lighthouse, I forgot that they also have the compass. You have the compass rose as a stamp, but then you can cut out the compass arrow, which is pretty cool. And the anchor, so it's, this one is the cutter. I had a feeling this was the shape, and it's stitched. And so we're going to use this to cut out our little label. And then we're going to use our little, gotta be careful. our sailboats. We're going to use those. And there's even something that you guys might not realize is that this actually makes a braided rope. This little line here. It's hard to tell, but it makes like a braided rope embellishment that you can add to cards. And I can't get enough of this bundle. And I'm pretty sure this bundle is 20% off. By the way, that's 20% off and 10% off. So like bundles, when you buy a bundle of dies and stamps together, they're 10% off. I don't know if this is included in the bundle. I can't quite remember. But when you buy bundles together, they're usually, you get 10% off. And then right now, a bunch of the bundles are 20% off on top. So that makes it 30% off actually, which is pretty impressive. So let me get my dies. I stamped my little thingies. And so now we're going to do our, remember, and this is also 20% off, which I featured it. I didn't think I was going to feature it, but I was like, I need to remind people that this thing is on sale and it is worth every penny. I have used this mini one more than the big one that I have ever. I had a big one from Sizzix. It was a large one from Stampin' Up. And I used it, but it was so bulky and hard to get out, and it just took up so much space, and I hardly ever used it. But for this one, I use it all the time. So I wanted to show you a little trick. If you take a little bit of washi tape, and you know, it doesn't have to be from Stampin' Up. I don't even know if we have any washi tape anymore. You just take a little bit of washi tape, and it'll hold your die down so that it doesn't... Oh, really? Are you, Carol? You know, I think for the small one, are you making sure that the dies are below the line, Carol? That might be a part of the problem, because keeping the dies away from the line, and also sometimes it helps to have it go at a little bit of an angle. So it'll be like you kind of feed the top one in, and then it'll grab the others, because sometimes having it not perfectly lined helps. Especially when I first got it, it was kind of hard to get it in there. I'm not going to pretend. And so my friend suggested I do a little off center and stagger. That's the right word. Thanks, Marcia. Stagger the plates a little bit, because what'll happen is it'll grab this first one, kind of like in your printer. It'll grab the first one and then bring the rest with it. So staggering the plates does help. Oh, let me put the other one on here. And I use a little bit of washi tape to tape it down, because it just, that way I don't waste my image. And I know it's an extra little step to add a little washi tape, and you don't even need a whole lot. I don't know why I put some on the edge there. It's because I got to talking. You know, even just one piece to hold it down, is enough. Yeah, you might want to stagger it, Carol. Try that, because that could be, that could be the issue. Because I know what you mean. When I first started using it, I was like, dang, this is hard. But then after I started using it, now I can line them up and it goes through pretty smoothly. And watch me try it and it doesn't work. So let's see. Let me put it in evenly. Yeah, see, when I put it in evenly, it's just fine. But when I first started to use it, I had to stagger it. And hold your hand on the top. That's the other thing. I usually don't have paper underneath it when I'm doing it by myself, because the paper will move. But there we go. So there's my one. I'll peel that off. And let's get our little set sail in the direction of your dreams. We'll pop that in. I don't know if I'll use the little tape. Well, I might, because I don't want to have to redo it. Because sometimes when you put it in there, because the machine moves, sometimes it'll jump on you a little bit. So I always try to do a little bit of washi tape just to make sure I can get it straight and set exactly like I want. And it just holds it down just a little bit. It doesn't have to be extensive washi tape. Just a little touch. And so this paper, I need to tape it down so it doesn't slide. Yeah, see this, now I'm having them go in straight. But I think in the beginning, stagger it. Oh, Post-it notes do work too. Yeah, no problem, Carol. Anytime. I'm always willing to help people figure out how to use the stuff. I hate it when people get a product and then they can't use it or don't know how to use it or need help with it. Like, I'm a teacher by trade, so I'm always willing to help people use the products, no matter whether they're my customer or someone else's customer. Always. Because, you know, I don't know. I just always, it's just in my nature to do so, to help teach like that. I think that's why I like doing the videos, because I like the teaching side of it. I teach all day, so you wouldn't think I'd want to teach after work, but I do. I do like showing people how to do stuff, especially the crafting. And it's better if I put it right on the table than on the sliding paper like I'm doing today. It's only because I need to cover up the paper underneath that I'm doing that. So sorry about the moving. But I teach English as a second language, Carol. I teach English as a second language to adults in the military. They're military, foreign military students that the U.S. contracts with. So actually some of the Ukrainians that are fighting right now actually are my students, or were my students. And they keep in contact with me. They're okay. But yeah. And so I haven't had any students from Taiwan. I have mainly students from Saudi Arabia and from the UAE. I also have U.S. Army that are American, like they're from Puerto Rico, or they're Chinese, but they're American citizens. But the students I primarily teach are the ones that are from other countries, and our country makes like a contract with their country. And they'll say, hey, you know, we want you to, like for my Ukrainian, I had a Ukrainian Navy student, and his country, Ukraine, had contracted with the United States to train him in naval tactics. Now, this is before Crimea was taken. And so he got trained in all these different naval tactics and leadership trainings and all these different things so that he could go back to his country and then train his own men in the same techniques so that we don't have to go over there and train them. So it's pretty cool. I love teaching what I teach. And I love the guys. They make me laugh so much. Like, I can't get enough of the guys. They just always make me laugh. They'll still contact me even now. Like the one in Ukraine, he contacted me. He's like, Miss, I'm okay. Don't worry, I'm all right. And he just wanted me to know that he was all right and his family was okay. And I even met up with him once in New York and we had a good time. We went all over sightseeing New York. So I think I'm going to try two sides. I'm going to do, like I did on Friday, I'm going to do the one with just on the plain DSP, but I'm going to color it a little bit. And then I'm going to do a white one. So we're going to do both. Okay. So let me stamp my ship just directly on here. And I know it kind of creeps. It is rewarding, Carol. It is. You know, I had a student, he is now the Chief Master Sergeant of the entire Royal Saudi Air Force. That means he's the highest enlisted non-commissioned officer. So he's the highest enlisted rank for the Air Force in Saudi Arabia. And he came to San Antonio. He called me up on my phone and said, Miss, are you on campus? I'm here. And I wasn't. I was teleworking, but I drove out to see him. Here it was 10 years later. And he was like, Miss, I want to see you. What are you doing? And so it is rewarding. I do love the men. And they're just so funny. I need to ink up my blue, but I'm still going to color. I'm going to get out my Stampin' Write markers. These are the older ones. Okay, so we have Pool Party, Night of Navy. I might need to grab, let's see what these look like when I color. See if it's too dark. No, that'll be okay. Let me grab the Blackberry Bliss and see what that looks like. Or Rich Razzleberry. Let me try Rich Razzleberry. Let me try that one. Because this is a little, I don't know, that blue is a little too bright. Let me see what this one looks like. Now this one matches. And so I was going to color my boat with the rich raspberry. So you've still got the navy underneath. This might be a little too dark. No, it's looking okay. I can use the blends. I just didn't want to. I just thought I'd use these today. The blends might have been better, but that's okay. That blue was just a little too bright, I guess, in my opinion. Maybe I'll try it on the whole. Yeah, my Ukrainian student, you know, I didn't realize. Now, Russia obviously has invaded quite a bit of Ukraine, not to diminish anything. But what's surprising is that the Ukrainians have actually held off Russia far longer than anyone has ever expected. And that's pretty impressive, because their country is about as big as Texas. And they've managed to hold off Russia for 2 weeks now. And that some of that is due to the training that we've given them, like the training that my friend received, my student received. So see how cool that is? I thought it was kind of cool to stamp directly on like I'd done before. Hi, Sylvia. Oh, retired Air Force. Okay. Yeah. He probably knows if he's enlisted Air Force, then he knows the location because everyone comes to San Antonio first. But if he's an officer, he probably knows about it too. It's called DLI, Defense Language Institute. So you see, when I had done the wolf, there was quite a bit of dark behind, and I kind of considered coloring it, but I kind of liked that it was flat against the paper, just as is. And then I thought, let's try it with the sailboat and see how that goes. So that I like how this turned out, even with just the Stampin' Write markers. So I used Rich Razzleberry and I used Night of Navy. Or, oh, that's not Night of Navy. That's another color called Marina Mist. I've got them mixed up, I guess. Sorry. So no wonder it wasn't matching, technically. So my bad. That's the wrong color. We have a similar color to that. Trying to think of the closest color that matches that. I was thinking like a balmy blue. I don't have balmy blue marker. And so, whoa, Nelly. Liquid glue got away from me. There we go. All right, so I've taped that. I've gotten that down. I want to add some birds up here with the Night of Navy. I need to definitely ink up my Night of Navy. It should be a lot darker. Night of Navy is almost black, just like the Blackberry Bliss. When you stamp with it, sometimes it almost comes out. It comes out almost black. There we go. Yeah, it needs to be inked up. Need to get my refill. I think I have a refill of it. I'll have to check. And when you ink up your pad, you know that it needs it, because what will happen is when you drop it on top, it'll soak right in, like it's thirsty, like a sponge. It'll soak right into it. Okay, so perfect. So we're going to go ahead and put that on a piece of Night of Navy. And I thought, even though it's got this purple to it, it's still a very masculine card. I would still love a card like this, even though people will say, oh, it's a very masculine card. But I don't know. I give guys cards of any kind. And I don't know. I've never had them complain. I wouldn't give them a totally pink card usually, but I guess it just depends on the guy. See, look how pretty that looks. I loved adding that Blackberry Bliss. Just that touch of blackberry in there, and it pulls out right on the edge. I thought about possibly also using the, what's it called? Fresh Freesia, which is like a pale, almost like a lavender color. I thought about using fresh freesia, but then I thought that was maybe a little too light. I like the idea of keeping it really dark. And so here's our first one. And I know that it kind of freaks people out to stamp right on the designer series paper, but look how cute that turned out. It just looks so good. And so even colored, it actually has such a great design. And look at the stitching on the, edging. I love the stitching of this. This is a great die set. So then I thought we'd do one more, but we're going to be using the die cuts because some people that might be a little too adventurous to stamp right onto the paper. But look, it doesn't look bad. Even my wolf that I did the other day, I really love that the wolf is green. I actually don't really mind that the wolf is green. So I still think it has a nice effect. So, oops, this is the wrong size piece. Let me grab the wrong size piece of blackberry. Yeah, let me trim that. Okay, so this is supposed to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I cut it down to a smaller size by mistake, or maybe I picked up the wrong one. I cut a few of them. So we're going to go ahead and do the same idea, except we're going to take one of these and we're going to pop it on. And so do I want to do the same one? I could even do 2 maybe. No, I think I'll make it exactly the same, and I'll color the same with the rich razzleberry, just so we can compare them exactly as is. And you could use blends too, because it is kind of adventurous to stamp right on the DSP. Yeah. Yeah, 2 boats might be good. Let me see how it looks when I'm getting it done. And I still want to color the sails a little, which was a little unusual. Usually I don't color too much of my, the textured stamps. These are called distinctive stamps because they have so much texture that they add to the design. So it adds a richness there. And so what I mean, so like when I hold this up close, you see it has all these subtle little shadings, and that's what makes them distinctive, because it has all these tiny subtle shadings. It was more obvious on the wolf and the bear that I did the other day, but yeah. So we've got our layout here. We could put our boat right there, and that would be the exact same layout as before. And see, I'll need to add my little birds. Maybe I could put this sailboat down here. Have a second one down there lower. No, I think just one for today, but you never know. So, and this one I'll pop up 3D. Oh, I need to stamp my birds before they do that. And I think I'll cut a little piece to get that little, I think I'll cut a little piece there. Let me stamp my birds right here. Let me turn it right side. One time I tried to stamp the birds and I stamped them upside down because I was doing it for the video and just got excited. So the sticker for this is a little off. There we go. I love this stamp set. It's so good. And see, look at even the back. Look how pretty that back is. You could even do a boat on the back here. Look how cute that would be. Even though it's not a Horizon, that still has such a great design. That's the back side of the paper. You know, it still has this water effect because it's a watercolor, obviously, but I just think that's pretty cool. Just really versatile paper. Right now it's on low inventory. It's not sold out, but it's on low inventory, I think, because of the paper pumpkin kit that just came out. And so people are probably wanting to coordinate it with the paper pumpkin kit. That's what I did. I hope I have enough that's enough pieces to coordinate left. Okay. So we made 2. I don't normally make 2 cards, but I thought it would be cool to make a full second one. Last week I felt so sick. I was like, I normally would have finished that second card with the wolf, but I was like, nope, it is bedtime. I went and I fell asleep. On Saturday, I think I slept several hours. Just straight through the day. I think I slept like 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the day, which I never ever do. I don't like to sleep in the daytime. I'm not even a late riser, you know. And I think this needs a little extra something. They had some great embellishments when this came out. It had these great anchors and what's it called? Helm? Like the helm, or what is it? It's the wheel, the wheel of the ship. But it has a special name. My students taught it to me and I forgot it. But I think this needs a little something here. Let's see. I have some black ones. I have, no, the pearl I think are too, what about, no. I guess I just was a little, something shiny, but not too feminine, you know? Maybe the opals. I mean, the pearls would work. Helm. Yeah, I'm thinking helm too, Carol. The helm of the ship. I also have these black matte dots, but I think the black is like a little too much. I wanted something dark. I guess these dark pearls that I colored could be thrown on there. And then I also have these. I'll decide on one of those. I feel like it needs just a little something in the corners. I was trying to think if there was anything else. Maybe a little opal. This is too pink. The opals are kind of nice. And then the pearls do match. I don't know, what do you guys think? Opals or pearls? I don't know. The rhinestones seem, I guess, feminine, I guess is what my word. Let's see. Opals or pearls? The pearls match perfectly. Dark pearls. These ones are the blue ones. Maybe the blue ones. Yeah, because I colored these ones blue. Or the purple ones. Yeah. The blue or the purple. Because these ones are blue and these ones are purple. Blue. Okay, let's try it. And see, I colored those with, oops, the little glue piece came off. I colored those with some, with the blends. You can color your, you can color with the blends. And I'll put this one over here. I'll color one more and add it over here. I don't normally like two. I usually like a third one, but they're kind of big. So there we go. Now see, I colored these with the alcohol markers so that I got, these are like a light, very, very light pale blue. That's totally hard. They look white basically in the video here, but they're a very, very pale, pale, pale blue. And so actually, let me move. Oh, I got some stuff on there. Let me do this one since I already have these ones here. I'll do purple on these ones. There we go. There we go. I colored them with the blends, and so I usually pick them up with my tweezers because you see the ink is still, it's not wet, but it's still messy here. I should wipe it off. It wipes off a little bit here. Yeah, there we go. So I put 2 purple on that one and then 2 blue there. So yeah, so there's our card. And I could add that other sailboat down here if I wanted to, adding a second one and have 2 of them. And so I just thought I'd compare them to the 2. Yeah. So fun cards. I like that. I don't normally do the stepped up thing. My friend does it all the time, but I thought that was kind of a fun idea. And then, so this is what, essentially this card here is kind of like what I wanted the wolf to look like for that wolf paper that I had messed up from the other day, where I would have popped it up. I just have to find it so I can finish it. I think I had it right here. I set it aside so that I could put it together and just haven't done it. But look how cute this, I'm doing this for tomorrow's class in San Antonio here. Look, I stamped the bear in green. How cool is that? I stamped the bear in green. You're right. Stamparatus is very good for using on DSP. I have it, but I haven't actually used it. And I was thinking about that too. Using the Stamparatus would be wise because then I know exactly where it's going to go and not before I've even inked it. And so that's a good idea. I think maybe I'll do that next time. But I stamped the bear in green. This is for tomorrow's class in the morning. If you're in San Antonio, I'm having a little class tomorrow. And I just thought that was so fun to do him in green. I thought, what a fun little idea. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. Yeah, I haven't really used it that much. I just kind of, I'm a wild stamper. I'm like, bring it. Let me just stamp in the wild. And so I don't use it that often, but it definitely helps because I did make a mistake on this, that other wolf one that I made. And this is how I was going to cover it and fix it. But it is why, but see, even this is a little bit crooked too. So if you're worried about stamping, being off center or crooked, when you use your Stamparatus, it goes in the machine and it lines it up perfect. Not machine, it's like a little folder, and it goes in the folder and it lines up perfectly. And you attach your stamp to the little folder lid and you press down and it'll stamp perfectly on there. It's pretty cool. And so I'll have to do a video showcasing that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah, and it's really good when you do multiple cards, Carol, for sure. Especially if you're doing your Christmas cards and you have 1,000 different things to stamp. It's so easy. You don't even really have to pay attention almost. You just ink and stamp, ink, stamp, ink, stamp. My friends have done it that way too. So, well, thanks for tuning in. Happy Friday. I will see you guys on Monday. And that's all I had for today. So have a great day, guys. All right, bye.